Thank you very much, Dr. Baird. So, as a student in pharmacology, I study how drugs work and how they can be improved. So, the majority of drugs that are screened today are done in controlled environments like test tubes. And in this way, we can identify which drugs act on targets that we're interested in. But the fact remains that we're not like test tubes. And so it's not surprising that the majority of drugs that are discovered in this way are not actually effective in treating disease because they don't get to the targets that they need to act on. And this is particularly true for the brain, which is a privileged site in the body. So why am I highlighting the brain? Well, let's consider two relevant examples of important brain diseases. Alzheimer's disease and related dementias presently affect over 500,000 Canadians. And actually, by the end of this talk, another Canadian will be diagnosed. In the next generation, this will represent an annual healthcare cost of over $150 billion. Similarly, for brain cancer, the present prognosis for the most common form is a survival rate of less than 1 year, and that's with aggressive treatment. The fact is that the drugs used to treat both of these diseases, the administered dose, less than 1% of it reaches the brain. So I studied materials known as nanoparticles that can actively target drugs to sites where we need them to be. So what are nanoparticles? Well, by definition, really, really small. On a scale with human cells on one spectrum and individual molecules on the other, they fall somewhere within the domain of proteins and virus particles. In fact, titanium dioxide particles, which absorb UV rays, are commonly found in commercially available sunscreens. And silver nanoparticles have long been used due to their antibacterial properties. Polymers they're used to prevent clumping in our toothpaste, can be used to make nanoparticles. And the reason why our hockey sticks are strong, flexible, and lightweight is because of the carbon nanomaterials that are used to make them. But what use do nanomaterials serve in medicine? Well, let's consider a polymeric nanoparticle for an example. Drugs can be incorporated into the membrane of these polymers or into the envelope that they form. And in this way, we can improve drug stability. We can also increase the circulation time, and this decreases the number of times that we need to administer the drug. And from a manufacturing standpoint, we can increase the shelf life. What's more is that by adding targeting agents, we can actually increase the efficacy of these. A targeting agent is akin to a key. And just like a key fits into a specific lock, we can actually choose these targeting agents so that they can target specific characteristics or features of diseases that we want to treat. And with this, we can increase targeting of our drugs, and we can also reduce side effects. Now, to illustrate this example, in the lab, we cultured human brain cancer cells, and we tracked cancer cell death versus the amount of drug that's used. And we can see here a beneficial effect of the drug on its own. But we can also achieve this same beneficial effect with less than half the drug, with less drug when we incorporate it into a basic system. Now we add targeting agents onto the surface of these particles that are specific for receptors found on cells and that are overexpressed by human brain cancer cells. We can actually achieve this beneficial effect by using less than half the drug. So nanomaterials can actually be used to increase drug potency, reduce side effects, and they do this by targeting the place where we need these drugs to be. And with this, we might be able to achieve the elusive magic bullet. Thank you very much to those listening and also to the funding agencies, the Government of Canada, and the Alzheimer's Society of Canada. Thank you very much.
How far are we from seeing these types of medicines being commercialized and available to the community?
They're actually already being used. The first available medicine was approved in 1995, and it was actually approved for an anti-cancer drug that was already on the market. It was a form of delivery system that was similar to the first example I showed, so it's basic. It doesn't actually have any targeting agent on the surface. The ones that have those targeting agents, they're actually being developed now as biologics start coming up. But right now we're on the cusp. It's only been about just under 2 decades that these medications have become commercialized, so it's appearing right now, and that's why I think this issue is really important now to consider.